Depression can make life seem hopeless, sad, and make you wonder what's the point of it all. If you are an individual on the autism spectrum who suffers from depression, or if you know someone with autism or Asperger's syndrome who is suffering depression, be sure to stay tuned as I have 8 tips to help manage depression and make it more easier to live with. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, my name is Arman, and I am an individual on the autism spectrum, and for over 10 years, I've been running a social activity group for people with autism and Asperger's syndrome. Over the 10 years running my group, I've seen a lot of group members who've had depression affect them to different degrees, and it really just brings everyone down. Depression sucks. It's just, ugh. So tip number 1. Get more sleep. So getting sleep can be a bit challenging for some people. So if you find it difficult to sleep or you have insomnia, here are some additional tips just for sleeping. Number 1, do not look at bright screens before going to bed. That means no tablet, no phone, no computer. If you feel tempted to check your phone, your text during night, put it on silent, turn off your phone. It can wait until the morning because when you look at a bright screen, that makes us stay awake longer and it makes it harder to go back to sleep or to get a good restful sleep. So stay away from your electronics before going to sleep. I recommend at least 15-20 minutes, even an hour. Just stay away from that, and that definitely helps make it easier to go to sleep. If you have a lot of thoughts, if you're constantly thinking about what's going to happen the next day, if you're just constantly thinking, one way to help reduce your thoughts is to write a list. Write a list of everything that you need to do for the next day. By writing down what you need to do, it tells your brain it's okay, I don't need to think about this, it's written down, I can go look at it tomorrow and I'll be good. Or maybe what you have in your mind can't be written in a list. Then go write a journal entry. Write it on a piece of paper. That way you're not looking at a bright screen as mentioned earlier. So just write down your thoughts. Everything that you're thinking about, just try to write it all down. And then that tells your brain it's okay, I can let it go, I can come back and look at it later. And also, don't watch TV in bed. By watching TV in bed, we're training ourselves to stay awake and watch television, which sets the mind up with this expectation that we're going to watch something rather than go to sleep. So that also, in addition to it being a bright screen, it also makes it harder to sleep because now you trained your mind to say, oh, time to watch TV, not time to sleep. It's time to engage with the television and watch whatever's on there. If you have a TV in your room, I highly recommend that you find somewhere else to put it or sit in a chair when you're watching your television in your room, not on your bed. Whether you watch it in the daytime or even nighttime, it has a psychological impact that tells us that being in bed is when we watch television. And of course, again, if you watch it at nighttime, there's that bright screen issue, which also makes it harder to sleep. So there's that as well. And also to help with sleep, do meditation, which actually brings us to point number 2. So tip number 2, meditation. So meditation can really help and be beneficial to a lot of people. It can help with the sleep, it helps calm the mind, reduces stress. There are different meditation techniques out there. So a meditation technique that works for me personally is to close my eyes and take deep breaths in and out like this. And when you're doing that, you focus on the breath inwards and outwards. So you breathe in, and you notice the breath coming in, and then you notice the breath coming out. Like so. There's a lot of different meditations out there, and what puts people off, what makes meditation hard is that for a lot of people it feels like, oh, I gotta do 30 minutes, 15 minutes. No, you don't have to do that. Do a minute. That's it. Start small. One of the big that holds people back is trying to do everything at one time, and then it seems impossible. It seems like we can't do it. So don't do everything at once. You are responsible for you. Don't listen to anybody else says. They don't know you. This is you we're talking about. We're not talking about someone else. We're talking about you. So you know yourself better than everyone else. A minute is hard. 30 seconds meditation. Just work your way up. 30 seconds, 45 seconds a week later. The next week, a minute. Don't worry about what other people say or where you should be. Their opinions don't matter. They aren't you, and they don't know what you're going through, and they don't know how much the depression affects you. So whatever. It doesn't matter. You do what's right for you. Tip number 3, diet. Having a good diet can make us feel better. If we're eating sugar all the time or a lot of junk food, that can really pull us down. And a good idea to have a good balanced diet, eating, a good amount of vegetables and nuts and different foods. And for parents, maybe your child won't eat certain foods, or you can't get them to stop playing video games before bedtime. For parents, what's important is to offer your child an incentive. Okay, you're gonna eat this food, and for eating that, I'll let you eat a candy bar, which I know is a bad food, but here's the thing, you want them to at least try something different. Have gradual expectations. Don't have these big expectations, gradual expectations. Or another thing is you can say, okay, if you eat this food for a week, I'll buy you that awesome game that you want. Or if you don't play video games an hour before going to bed for a week, I'll get you that video game that you really like. Let's say you're watching this video and you want to do these things, but you don't know where to start. Well, number one, have small expectations. So don't beat yourself up if you aren't meeting your expectations. Start small, take little baby steps. If possible, have someone to help you, have someone to hold you accountable. Say, okay, maybe you find a friend or a family member that you can talk to and say, I'm trying to work on this project for myself. I'm for better health. You don't have to tell them depression. Say, I'm just trying to make my health better. So tip number 4, exercise. Exercise helps a lot. And I understand that exercise can be really difficult, so start small. Just do 1 push-up. 1 push-up to start, then 2 push-ups. Walk for 2 minutes. Then try to work your way up to 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. Work your way from 2 push-ups to 5 push-ups to 7, 10. Set small, realistic expectations for yourself, but exercise does help. So start small if exercise is something that doesn't come easily or naturally for you, and work your way up. Exercise does help a tremendous deal with making us feel better about ourselves. It helps our body. Our body is healthier, our body is better. Everything is so much better when we're exercising, when we're healthier. It helps with depression, it helps with so many different things. So exercise. Tip number 5, reduce your online usage. So social media especially. If you're on social media or discussion forums all the time, reduce that. If you need to, go out for a walk, do something different, change up your schedule. Also, in addition to reducing your online usage, reduce the time that you're playing video games. If you're playing video games like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, even 4 hours or whatever, that's a lot of time in playing video games or being on a computer all the time. That really can take a toll. And so reducing that, doing other things, whether it's painting, writing, going out places to meet people, whatever the case may be, all of those help. So just change it up a little bit. Tip number 6, your environment. Environment can play a huge role on depression. For instance, if your room is really messy, that can play a role. The people you hang out with can really have a huge impact. So if you hang out with people that aren't positive, if they aren't uplifting, if they're complaining and they're just a drain, then that's gonna pull you down as well, whether they're coworkers or family members. So the best thing you can do is just try to avoid these people. And if they're people that you don't need to see and interact with, then just remove them from your life. You don't need that, and that brings you down. Perhaps you yourself like to complain and surround yourself with complainers. The thing is, don't do that. That complaining, being negative, that brings us down. That negativity can definitely be a trigger for depression. So remove those people from your life. Try your best to not complain. Work on it. Instead, try to talk about other things. For people who are complaining or being negative, where that's a normal part of reality, it can be very hard to move beyond that. I understand how that plays a role in everything. So take, again, baby steps. Don't beat yourself up when you're not doing things perfectly, but understand that the negativity does pull you down. So do your best to be a more positive person, or at least a more neutral person. You don't have to be like, yeah, woohoo, yeah. You don't need to be that way. People like that are kind of weird, honestly. I think when people like, oh, yes, it's so good to see ya. It's so, yes, hey, what's up? Whoa, I'm so happy to see you. What's up, dude? Yeah, that's just, don't be like, that's ridiculous. So the people who are like overly happy and it's fake and all that and it's over the top, don't be that over the top, fake, ridiculous, happy person. No one likes that. When I'm saying being positive, I mean, have a good attitude, like maybe smile sometimes, compliment someone rather than talking about bad things. I don't know, just be nicer or whatever. You know yourself better than I do. So that's up for you to figure out. Which now brings us to tip number 7. Create a support network for yourself if possible. try to find someone that you can talk to about everything that's going on in your life. Someone that you feel you can share really personal things with, whether it's a relative, a friend, whoever. And ideally, this is someone in real life, not someone that you're messaging online, but that's what works for you and that's what works for you. Or if you can't find someone to talk to, then start keeping a journal. Write down your thoughts or make a video journal. Start recording your thoughts. Don't share it with anyone. This is for you personally. Record your most personal, darkest secrets, everything that's going through your mind, everything that's weighing you down, everything that's causing you depression, whatever. Just talk about it, let it out. A lot of times talking about things really unloads burdens and makes us feel lighter. So talk about it. Find someone to talk with if possible. If not, do a video journal. And if you don't feel like doing a video journal, write it down in a regular diary, journal, whatever. And finally, tip number 8, take risks. Risks are crucial. Whatever that risk is, pursue your dreams. Go after your goals. A big part of depression is this feeling like everything is worthless. So set a goal, whether that's a personal goal. I want to make XYZ amount of money. I want to have this job. I want to write a book. I want to start a YouTube channel. Set a goal and then work towards your goal. And the most important thing, expect failure and embrace failure. This applies to parents as well. It's important to let your child to fail while achieving their goals, because by failing, that's how people achieve goals. You don't achieve goals by doing everything perfectly. You achieve goals by learning along the way. I mean, sometimes we do things perfectly, but oftentimes things are challenges and we have to learn along the way. It is important to do your research and to try to know as much as possible, but at some point, you have to just take a foot out the door. And if you're not the type of person to take a foot out the door, just do it. Just take a first step. Take a leap. I will tell you this. Failure is the key to happiness, because those who are willing to fail will achieve their goals, or at the very least they will have achieved something. But the important thing is, if you mess up, if things aren't going according to plan, when you're trying to achieve your goals, your dreams, whatever, that's okay. Making mistakes or things not going according to plan, things not working out perfectly, that's normal. That's the way things are supposed to be. That's how we learn, that's how we grow. And so don't beat yourself up when things aren't working out. Instead, say, okay, this is what I didn't do right, or this is what went wrong, and then try to avoid that happening the next time. The real failure in life is when we don't do anything, when we become complacent. We say, this is okay, it could be better, but if I take a risk, or if my child takes a risk, they're gonna get hurt, I'm gonna get hurt. That's not cool. I can't even, you gotta go out and take risk. And then once you take risks, you're going to start living a more fulfilling life. And when you live a more fulfilling life, there will be less depression. At least usually there's less depression. I mean, everyone's different, but hopefully that will help with that. And here is a bonus tip. Guess what? You're getting 9 tips, not 8. I tricked you. Bonus tip. Go out and meet people. I understand, being on the autism spectrum myself, that can be really hard to go out and meet people and socialize and all of that. There's a cool website. It's called MEETUP.com. There's all sorts of groups. I don't know what groups are around you, but there could be a comic book group, an anime group, an animal lovers group, and maybe there isn't something that you're into. Maybe there's a food lovers group and you're not really into it, but you say, okay, I'll give it a shot. Hiking, whatever. Try out a different group, not to try a different activity necessarily, but to go out and meet different people. And maybe you don't want to socialize. That's okay. Just go there anyway. Maybe someone will go up and talk to you. Maybe that'll feel weird to you and you're like, I don't really know how to talk to you. That's okay. Just putting yourself out there. Every little step helps. So just one step at a time. And if you've never been on meetup.com, I've left the link in the description, so check it out. There are lots of cool groups that people are doing these days, and you don't have to do hiking. You don't have to do whatever. I'm just giving it as an example of something that you can do. Maybe there's a 501st Stormtrooper Legion there. You could try that out for instance. Meet the people there. Maybe there's I have no idea, honestly. There's all sorts of groups. So just check them out, see what they have, and you never know. You might find something that you're really into. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Share with your friends, family, and on social media. And be sure to check out my other videos. And also leave a comment. Tell me, was the video helpful? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you feel like I missed something important? Let me know in the comments below. And also be sure to let me know what other videos you'd like to see me cover in the future. Do you want to see more videos like this? Or do you want to see me talk about other aspects relating to autism, Asperger's syndrome? Let me know. Thank you. Have an awesome day of super duper awesomeness.